Hey everyone, I'm Gage Klossner. I'm a sophomore at Rolla High School. I take part in being one of the 6 leaders at FCA at the high school, and I lead small group in the morning for 7th and 8th grade boys. I'm here today to tell you about how God has changed my life and how I've found Him in my life. So ever since I was little, I have gone to church. I can't, besides sports, I've never skipped a day of church. So all of my life I've been to church, but I've never really understood it. I would never put myself out there or put in the effort to learn about God or to learn about the stories in the Bible. None of it just clicked in my mind. I just couldn't figure it all out. And so I was this way for a very long time. I was always too afraid to ask my parents or any leaders or even my brother on questions about it, because I just felt like I was gonna be seen as dumb or stupid or something like that. But now I realize I really should have asked them. And so I got baptized and I tried my best to become a follower of Christ, but I just still didn't understand it all. I kept thinking about, is God real and stuff, normal questions for a Christian. And I just gave up and quit trying to figure out everything about it. And so life went on, and I found myself in a very low valley, probably the lowest one of my life. And I just always had problems on my mind, and it was hard to sleep at night. It was just very rough on me. And so even though I wasn't a firm follower, I would always say I was, but I didn't have anything to back it up. But I would always find myself praying at night. It was just something that I felt like I was called to do. I may not have known all the stories or anything, or even thought that God was real, but I'd still pray to Him. And so one night I was trying to go to sleep, and I realized that all of my problems had been solved. I went one by one through the list, and I just realized this all didn't just happen on its own. Someone had to have done this. And then I just realized that it was God and that He was just answering my prayers. So I broke down in tears, just laying in bed, and I was going to try to go back to sleep, but then I was like, no, I'm going to go talk to Mom. So I went into my parents' room, and my dad was still watching TV in the living room. So it was just me and my mom, and I explained everything to her. That was probably the first time I've been truly open to her about everything, and that felt amazing. But just laying there telling her that, I was still crying, probably the hardest I've ever cried in my life. And that's when I decided that I'm going to go to CIY. The year before, I was going to go, but then I just didn't feel right going because I just didn't firmly believe in God. And so the day that we were supposed to leave for CIY, I was very nervous. I just felt like I didn't belong, and I was going to try to drop out, but I just knew I couldn't, and that I needed to go. So we got there, and the first 2 days, I had a lot of fun just hanging with the guys and just being with all my friends and all the activities, but I just didn't really feel a click with anything. So those 2 days passed, and then the third day came on. I believe it was Wednesday. And this is probably the day I will never forget. It was July 10th, 2019. So it started off just a normal day, just hanging out with friends, having fun, doing our small group and our lesson and stuff. But then the night sermon came on. And so they had this thing. It was a railroad switch. And so it had 2 levers on it, a green one, or a lever with a green button, and a lever with a blue button. The green button was for if you're new to committing to Christ and you just are getting on track, like a railroad track. And the blue one is if you're recommitting, so you once were on track with God and you got lost and now you're coming back. So that was a big symbol. So during any of our worship songs or anything, if you wanted to go and commit yourself to Christ, you weren't forced to, but if you really wanted to, you would go up to one of the 4 railroad switches, I think there was. You'd go up to one of the four, and you would pull the lever and push the button, and it would signal out to everybody that you just committed your life to Christ, either for the first time or again. And so that night I was sitting there singing the songs, and I told myself I wasn't going to pull it because I was scared to go in front of everyone and just commit myself in front of everyone. But I look to my right and I see 3 of my pretty close friends there go up and commit their life to Christ. And these were 3 people I never would have expected to go make this life-changing decision. So I didn't even tell myself I need to go pull it. My body just kind of walked. I just went out of the aisle. I scooted by everyone. I had a bunch of my friends patting me on the back, saying good job and all that. And so I got out of the aisle and I immediately looked for my brother because he's been one of the biggest role models in my life. And so he finally got out of his aisle and we were walking to the railroad switch. We were going up the stairs and right there were 3 of my friends hugging and crying and just feeling changed. So we stopped there and I gave them some hugs and stuff, and then I realized I needed to go up and do my part. So I went up, got in line. There was only 1 or 2 people in front of me, and so they went, and then I realized it was my turn. My life's about to change. So I walked up, put my hand around the right lever with the blue button on it, pulled the lever and pushed the button. The lights and sirens went off, and I just felt shivers and goosebumps, and it just ran down my body. It never experienced anything like that. And then I turned around and saw my brother there, and he immediately gave me the biggest hug, and I will never forget that. And so then I went and hugged the 3 guys again, just all being there together, committing alongside them. That just felt amazing, and I'm never going to forget it. So then right after that, I went and found Brandon, and he took me off to the side and prayed for me, and I'm just very thankful for that. And then I went, found Ben. He did the exact same thing for me. Then I returned back to my seat and got probably 5 or 6 hugs along the way, and it's just life-changing. The things God does for you and sets up for you is just truly amazing. And I feel everyone is gonna have one of those moments, and I really hope that everyone has one of those moments because you'll never forget about it. It's life-changing. And so from then on, I had an absolute amazing time at CIY. My week just flipped there, and I had an amazing time. And so I began to just do everything I could to be the best for Christ and best for God. Whenever I got back, I was totally changed. I couldn't wait to tell my mom about anything and everything, I guess. And so I came back, and Lauren asked me if I wanted to be one of the helpers for our leaders for FCA. So I was one of the 6 leaders for FCA. I started helping Ben and Brandon out around at fuel and everything. And whenever they just needed something, I was just here to do it for them and just be part of the church family. Recently I started to lead the small group for the 7th and 8th grade boys in the morning at church, and just being able to talk to all these different ages, it makes me feel really good, and I love being around these kids. So that's my story, and I just hope that you guys are out seeking for yours because I know it's coming.